my channel. And the last two vlogs that I did were nothing like house and mortgage related, so I kind of figured I was probably due a life update. Triple chin. House-wise, so the two houses that we were bidding on that I talked about in my last vlog, we are no longer bidding on them, which is a good thing, a positive thing. I'm happy with where I'm at, but the terraced house that we were bidding on, we'd actually set like a limit on that house. We did have more to spend budget wise, but we kind of figured because it's a terraced house and there's like a little bit of work that needs to be done, and also thinking like in the future for selling it on, didn't want to spend all our budget on that house. It would have just been really stupid to do so. So we set our budget, and we'd actually gone over 1,000 at that time, and then they outbidded us again, and then I said no, I don't think this is meant for us, so we pulled out of the bidding. And then we later found out that the people that we were bidding against actually had family members in that estate, so I kind of think it was like all meant to be, so I'm happy with that. And then with regards to the semi-detached house, actually the highest bidders on that house for a while, and it was actually a Wednesday, and then we were told by the estate agent that on the Friday was when they'd be closing the sale, so we'll be going sale agreed. And then on Wednesday, late Wednesday, we got a call from the estate agent, and we had been outbidded. Basically a new party had joined the bidding process, and they put an extra €5,000 on top of our bid. So I think by putting that much, it was making a statement that they really wanted that house. Now again, when it comes to bidding and whatnot, it's all a bit of a gamble. You really have no idea who you're bidding against. So that house, we had already kind of gone up as far as we could with regards to budgets, but I was so mindful of the fact that it was in pristine condition. I mean, it had been newly painted, everything had been floored, like there's not one thing you needed to do to that house. So I kind of scraped a little bit of money as a just in case to outbid them, and then they outbidded me again with another €3,000. They had put like 8 grand on within a day and a half. But at first I was devastated, because I thought, oh god, is this what it's going to be like? Is every house I'm going to start bidding on, I'm going to be totally outbidded? And I just kind of felt like, oh my god, have I not done enough? Have I not worked hard enough? Have I not taken enough jobs on? And that's the way I look at things straight away until I calm down. And then I was having a bad week anyway that week. I just felt really overwhelmed with the whole bidding process and thinking, god, have I not done enough after these 2 years that have been really tough? I think I'd had to fight with my dad because I was stressed out and taking my anger out on everybody. It was the time of the month for me, and also one of my schools had their stage school show a week later, so I just was up to my eyes and just not in a great place, and I wasn't going to vlog that moment in time. Even though I said I'd try and vlog everything, I really didn't want to be on the camera sobbing my eyes out, because I don't know, I can't do that, and I don't know if I will ever do that. But anyway, the way I seen it at that moment in time was that I hadn't worked hard enough, or I wasn't good enough, which was wrong attitude. And then I realised after I'd calmed down that I was probably bidding against 2 people, like a couple that had approval from both their wages, and me with just my own wage isn't enough. So of course they're going to get the house because they earn more than me combined together, and that's the reality of it. So I'm at a disadvantage, or well, I was at a disadvantage, so we are no longer bidding or involved with those 2 houses. And then afterwards we kind of continued on the process, and we think we have found our house. And I'm going to leave at that, because I'm very superstitious in that I believe you attract good things, and what's meant to be is meant to be. But I'm also really humble in that if you don't have the keys, it's not your house yet, you know. So until I have the keys, this house that we have gone a sale agreed on, it's not my house until I have my keys. In fact, in fairness, it's not my house until I've paid off my mortgage. It's the bank's house. Basically, I've just finished up with my broker, who's Kevin, by the way. I'm going to introduce you to him. I'm hoping when I'm back in again, I might bring in the camera. I don't know how he'll feel about that. But anyway, his name is Kevin, and he's from First Rate Mortgages. I was recommended First Rate Mortgages by a friend who also got mortgage approval with them last year, and he was a first-time buyer too, and they've been absolutely amazing. Like, the advice that Kevin has given me, he's been so reassuring. So for anybody who is maybe going to start the mortgage process, or maybe is on a low income, or is maybe self-employed, which like me, like a sole trader, and you're looking for some advice, I would go to Kevin. And he's really not that expensive. Like, I thought his fee was going to be a lot more, and it's not, and it's totally worth it just for every little bit of advice that he gives you. So basically, I was actually with Kevin last week, because I had gotten approval from more than one lending provider, which means I had to make a decision. I had a choice on which mortgage to go for. So last week we sat down for like about 2 hours, I think. I went through all the options that we had, well, that I had. And for anyone who's never drawn down on a mortgage before, basically you get given a lump sum of money towards your house, and you have a certain amount of time to pay it off. So most of the lending providers offered me like a sum of money for a 35-year kind of term, which I didn't really want to go for, because, like, let's say one of the providers that was offering me money, they said 35-year term with 7 years fixed rates, which I wasn't really interested in the 7 years business, because I would like to pay my mortgage off before the yearly term. However, I understand some people will take their 30-35 years to pay off their mortgage, and that's fine. But for me, I kind of would like to have gotten the terms down a little bit lower, and without penalties for if I happen to pay in advance. So basically, even just changing my mortgage from 35 years to 25 years, should I not pay it in advance, I've already saved myself like €30,000. So if you are going for a mortgage, don't just pick the longest term with the smaller month repayments, because if you take that long to pay off your mortgage over your lifespan, you will end up spending more because it's interest you're paying. So while it might be good, you might have a bit of free cash every month to start off with, you're gonna be paying it in the long run anyway. So I would really research first what you're going to do and choose the right decision for you, and don't put yourself down where you're going to be like stuck for a long period of time. So my provider that I'm going with is going to be like 3 years fixed, and then after that I have an option of making it variable. I have an option of also paying off things a little bit earlier, and there'll be no fixed penalties on that. And even just the fact that I was able to change it from 35 years to 25 years, I'm happy out. So should I not pay it off in advance, I have saved myself €30,000 overall if I take 25 years to pay off my mortgage. So I'm happy out with that. And then also, when I was with Kevin at the meeting last week, he gave me a load of insurance papers, life insurance papers, mortgage protection papers, and also what I've signed on for is like an income protection. We understand if you're PAYE worker, and it's not really necessary for you guys because you have a contract, or you know, you've built up credits. Well, I built up credits too, but because I'm a sole trader in Ireland, that means absolutely squish all. If anything happens to you, if I'm out of work, I know there's a few new things that they've kind of brought into legislation recently, but other than that, I am not entitled to anything. So if anything happens to me, I can't sign on to social welfare or get help or anything. I'm kind of stuck by myself. So the income protection, I'd be paying like a small fee every month. And basically, should anything happen to me, God forbid, and it goes belly up and I can no longer work, the mortgage is kind of pretty much covered. So it's basically kind of just looking out for my future. We also had to do life insurance, which, by the way, is probably the most grim thing, grimmest, can you say grimmest? Most grim thing I've ever done, because you're basically deciding what happens to your house should you die. So yeah, I had all my papers and I've just returned them basically back to Kevin just there, and yeah, quite positive. I'm happy, but I'm really apprehensive because I'm like, okay, this is getting really real now, because it's April now. In January, well, I've spent 2 years saving and doing everything I was told to do, and then in January I put my papers in, and in February and March I kind of started to get approvals back, and then end of March we have found a house, and it's April now, and I've signed off on the mortgage I'm going with, signed off on my life insurance papers. I have found a solicitor as well. Like, I had to find a solicitor, so it's everything's kind of out of my hands now. Like I said to Kevin, is there anything else that I need to do? And he goes, no, you just have to sit back and wait. And I was like, what? I'm not the type of person to sit back and just wait. Like, I'm a little bit of a control freak, so I kind of like to know what's going on. I don't like not having anything to do. Like, I like lists. Like this is me. Like, where is my page that I'm on at the moment? Like, can you see this? Is there a light shining? Like, I like lists. I do lists every day, and then like tick, 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 tick. And I've no lists now to do with the house. So I don't know. I feel a bit weird. So it's more of just a waiting game. They did say that if everything goes to plan and the seller's solicitors work well with my solicitors and everything, like the deeds are okay and nothing goes belly up, we should be getting keys at the start of June. Okay? I just can't get my head around it because I just feel like it's all gone so very quickly. Like, if we get our keys at the start of June, that means it's been like 6 months to do the whole thing. I don't know, waiting game now, I suppose. So I said I'll do my life update. I can't really vlog anymore on this because everything else is done. Should I get keys, or when I get keys, actually I'm going to be positive, when I get keys, I suppose my vlogs will be decorating the house and what we're going to do with the house. And the house that we've gone sale agreed on, it's a cold house. I think it's G2 energy rating. We're actually getting it surveyed at the moment. Basically, the bank does its own surveillance to make sure that the house is worth what it is. It's not, they're not surveying the house to be like, oh, there's something wrong with this house. No, they want to know, should anything goes wrong with me, will they get their money back on the house that they've lent out, basically. That's all they really care about. Which just sounds a bit scabby, but it's true. And we have our own surveyor that's going to be coming in this week, I think, and he is going to assess the whole house and just make sure that it's okay and if there's anything that immediately needs to be done. It is an old house. I think it's from the 1960s, so it actually comes with huge windows, which we're really, really happy about, because a lot of houses that we were looking in our budget is a smaller window because we're on a lower budget, so doesn't come with great things. But apparently houses that were built in the 1960s come with big windows because oil was cheap at the time, so they could afford to have big windows. And so there's lots of lights, and there's 3 bedrooms, semi-detached, and there's loads of scope. So while there's a bit of work that needs to be done to the house and it's quite old-ish, there's loads of potential. So maybe in a year or two we were thinking of maybe doing a whole extension out the back, like a real Dermot Bannon-esque style open plan living. We're going to be a bit broke to start off with, so I don't think we'll be able to do an extension straight away. There's a garage as well that we might convert. Like, I don't know, what we loved about the house was that the potential from it. Again, I'm superstitious. I'm like, if I'm saying this, it's gonna happen, right? Because if it doesn't, then I'm gonna feel nauseous that I got excited about doing the extension to a house. Stop. I'm gonna stop. Anyway, but yeah, we're just, I don't know, I'm just so nervous and excited and happy and apprehensive, a bit overwhelmed at the same time. I've actually thrown myself back into work. I took on 2 new sets of jobs for the next month because I like to be busy, and if I'm not busy, my mind starts to like flutter. And yeah, and I kind of figured, even though I've got a bit too much work on, I figured if I take on extra work now and I'm busy, whatever I earn extra, I'm going to put into like a furniture pot, so we can maybe buy a nice bed or a nice sofa and things that, you know, most people when they move into their first ever home can't afford because you're broke. So yeah, if we get the keys at the start of June, it's actually falling at a nice time for me, because summer's quite a quiet time for me in work. So yeah, I hope this is a nice life update for you. Like, I don't really know more what to say other than that's all I can say, and that's all I know, and hopefully everything goes to plan from here. But I was thinking, if there are any things that people would like to see as a vlog, or if they have any questions and would like me to maybe do a vlog about that, maybe even if you're not comfortable commenting, a lot of people private message me, because I can understand kind of the privateness of it all. If there is something that you would like me to speak about, or have a question that you'd like me to answer, that you think might be useful for other people to hear, please send it my way, because I feel like it's so much easier if we all discuss this together, and if everybody was a little bit more open about the struggles together. And especially for self-employed people, there's not a lot of info out there for us. It really is like, it's a very horrible, sticky situation when you're self-employed to be in, trying to buy your first home. So yeah, like if there is anything that anyone has that they'd like to ask, or if there's a random vlog that nothing to do with the house or mortgage related, please let me know, and hit like and hit subscribe, and please share, because I think everyone can learn from things like this. And yeah, and thank you so much as well for supporting my videos in the last while. Slán!